Hello, gorgeous Beyond the Art of Manifesting tribe. How are you? We aren't even 2 weeks old. We're like a week and a half old. So again, just wanted to say I love this group so much. And I am so excited to share so much learning, insight, information and knowledge with you over the coming weeks, months, years as I progress beyond the art of manifesting, and so many of you I am sure will do the same as well. So obviously there's been a lot of talk in this group so far about higher selves. We've got our awesome higher self connection month. There's nearly 60 of you in that, which is just amazing. So everyone's on fire in there. So there's been a lot of talk around higher selves in this group over the last week and a half or so. And what I was very inspired to come on and talk about today is the releasing process and the awakening process. Sarah was nudging me to come on and talk about this yesterday. She is still nudging me today. Hi, Claire. So here I am to share a bit more with you about the releasing process and awakening process. So obviously I haven't planned this. I'm just sort of going to go with what Sarah guides me. But I have been working with Law of Attraction for about 2.5 years, as you know, and I had no idea when I started this 2.5 years ago that I would end up going through an awakening process. And if you had said those words to me 2.5 years ago, I would have been like, really? Like, I'm not that woo-woo, like whatever, what is an awakening? I was very much, when I started out coaching Law of Attraction, when I started mastering the art of manifesting, I was very much like, I'm going to demystify this and simplify it and show that you don't have to be into the woo-woo. And I had this whole thing about not wanting to be woo-woo and wanting to make it really mainstream. And cut to 2.5 years later, I'm in a full-blown spiritual awakening, which is, it still kind of makes me laugh, and still when I say the words it feels a bit weird to me, but I just wanted to talk to you a bit more about it, because what happens is, if you manifest and expand rapidly like I've done, so if you're leveraging Law of Attraction each day, if you're moving with the inspired actions, if you're expanding at a rapid pace, you will reach what is known as an expansion ceiling, which I obviously had no clue what that was. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're expanding at a rapid pace. I think for me, I reached the expansion ceiling really quickly because I expanded so quickly in terms of my energy and vibration. I manifested so much so fast. I was literally like inspired action, move, go, go, go. And then suddenly I hit this expansion ceiling, and then I sort of felt a bit stuck. Things started to feel a little bit uncomfortable. The universe was bringing through things that into my experience to bring me contrast, to help me to get to move. And then in January, something happened that was the biggest contrast I had ever experienced. I felt fear in a way that I'd never felt it before. And then I was like, I never want to feel fear like this ever again. Right, I'm ready to work and kind of do the work that I need to do to release stuff. But even then, I didn't realise that was really going to be a spiritual awakening. I just thought it was going to be releasing fear. But actually, an awakening is about releasing fear. And there's so many different ideas around what an awakening is. Often we hear, I mean, I guess each of your experiences around a spiritual awakening will be different in terms of what you understand around it. I remember that I used to think an awakening for me meant looking at people like Eckhart Tolle, or Buddha, or some, you know, people that were at utter peace, and often they'd gone through a lot of trauma and then they found utter peace. And so I guess there was a bit of misunderstanding around that, because even when you are awakened, you still have contrast, but you definitely don't have the fear around it. And I feel very, very blessed, and you guys are able to access this too as well. We're all so lucky with the brand new leading edge teachings of Believe. We are now able to awaken using this awesome releasing process. Let me just show you the book 1 second. I know a lot of you will know this book because a lot of you follow the work that Liv and Rafa Kanya do as well. But if you haven't got this book in your life yet, This book is amazing. It contains a lot of the leading edge insight that I'm going to be talking about my first-hand experience of in this group. It also talks about the releasing process. I know a lot of you in this group are doing it, or you have done Believe Online, or you're thinking about the next Believe Online course, or you're reading the book, or you're just following Liv and Raph on Fifth Dimension Earth. But this talks about their releasing process. And it's groundbreaking, okay, to the extent that when you follow it, you release stored vibration, stored low vibration. Now, all the teachings of Abraham Hicks were way more about transitional vibration. So it's more about capturing your vibration on a day-to-day basis, and when you feel low vibration, you pivot it. So this was a complete curveball to me, actually looking at removing stored low vibration. And the Believe teachings process do also talk about, they do cater and factor for transitional vibration as well, but it's the two in tandem, watching your transitional vibration and then removing your stored vibration. And the idea is, if you can catch your transitional vibration before you go to sleep, it then doesn't turn into stored. But if you don't capture it by the end of the day, it can start to add to your stored vibration. So, okay, there's quite a lot to talk about and explain here, but I started this releasing process on the 8th of February. We are coming up to the 8th of August, so I'm coming up to my 6-month anniversary, which is very exciting. And within the first 2 weeks of the releasing process, my stored vibration, I had only 38% of my body stored vibration was high, the rest of it was low. And within 2 weeks, I went from 30, or maybe it was 37 to 57. So within that first 2 weeks of the releasing process, I shifted to become predominantly high vibration. So I was over 50% high vibration. And then since then, I've just been working at it. And now I feel instinctively that the last I heard I was 71% high vibration, but that was a good few weeks ago. So I get sort of guidance from Sarah that I'm in the 80s now, but I don't know where about exactly. But I do know that I have continued to release more since I was 71% high vibration. And what's really fascinating about this is that if you are 75% high vibration, you are in the 5% of the planet that are. So being above 75% stored vibration is really rare on this planet. Only 5% of the population are. And what's awesome about what the Liv and Raph teach is that you can pretty much get to 100% stored high vibration. And in fact, I think they are, if they're not 100%, they are definitely both over 95%, but they are the only two in the world at this time that are that clear vibration, which is why they can receive from non-physical so clearly. It's why they have these powerful gifts coming through. And what is really exciting for each of you here and me is that if we go through the releasing process, we can reach that point as well. And as you do that, you all have your own gifts that start to come through. And I have to say, I think I mentioned this maybe on the first live in this group, I think it was last summer that Liv told me I could read people's vortexes, because I kind of said to her, I could kind of see this thing, what was it? And I remember being so excited that I had a gift, because I'd always wanted a gift. And I remember being like, oh my God, do I actually have AM gift? But that is scratching the surface, because when you awaken, i.e. when you remove all that stored low vibration, all of these gifts start to come through for each and every one of us. Each and every one of us has gifts in our soul contract. So what is a soul contract? A soul contract is something that we agree with our higher selves, with God, with I think Jesus as well, with Archangel Richard, who has in the past been known as a Metatron. So Archangel Richard holds the Akashic records, and he's really involved in the soul contracts, and we all agree them, and then we come down. And when you awaken, it's then a done deal. Once you are over the awakening line, I'm not there yet. I'm still kind of working through the releasing process, FYI. Only Liv and Raph are there at the minute. They're the only two on the planet at this point that are at that level. But we can all get there. Once you're over that line, all of your gifts everything in your soul contract is a done deal, okay? It's awesome. So that's the releasing process. How does it work? So when you are going through the releasing process, your higher self is essential in that process. And it's very different to counselling. It's even different to things like NLP, because your higher self is able to give you insight that no one else can give you. So what happens is with the releasing process, so I'll give you an example of how a releasing works. Your higher self will ramp up some low vibration in you that you might not even know is there, and she'll ramp up these emotions so you start to pay attention and realize that they're in your body. So there can be so many different emotions. I've had so many, like anger being one of them that came up 2 weeks ago, and I never thought I was angry. And Liv and Raf always said from the off, you've got anger in you, and I'm like, no I don't. I'm like so non-angry, no confrontational. And finally Sarah brought up anger a couple of weeks ago, and I was raging, but it shifted something. And so it could be any emotion that's low vibrational. Your higher self will ramp that up, and then what you can do is work with them to find out the root cause, and they will literally take you back to things that are locked memories, that are hidden memories that you've forgotten. And there's been a few releases that I've done, and Sarah's literally taken me there, and I've been like, I literally didn't even know that happened, but she has showed me. Or she will show me insight from another person that's involved in that root cause. So for example, I had something with my mum, and she showed me my mum's perspective, and she literally just took me there. And then when you release this emotion. So most of the time for me, I know there's other people in here following the process, when I reach that root cause, I'll cry and I'll release it. And for me, I literally feel that vibration leave my body. And I know Raf is the same. Liv apparently doesn't feel it, but Raf feels it. So I'm like Raf, I literally feel it leave my body. And then you create a new truth, which you do with law of truth, and again your higher self. And once you have created that truth, it's like it's then there, and it kind of keeps you on track, and it's kind of like the file is deleted. Not all the time, sometimes for stronger things that have happened that have been more traumatic, it may take a few goes, but I won't go into the complexities of that. But often, like the one I had on Friday, I had to release something on Friday that was the fear of people judging me and not liking me. And Sarah took me straight back to the root cause that actually wasn't anything to do with my family. It was something completely separate. And I released it, and I created a new truth, knowing that I love me, and as long as I love me, it doesn't matter. And since then, that file has just been deleted, and I literally don't care what people think anymore. Not in a bad way, but in a I love me first way. I don't need to carry that fear that I've carried since I was about 6. Like, it's just deleted the file. And so you can imagine the more of these you do, you feel lighter and lighter and lighter, and you start to become the powerful person you're truly here to be. Like, the truth of Sarah is, and it will be the same with your higher selves, but we all have like different things. But the truth of Sarah is she's powerful. She's so strong. She is like awesome, and I've never stepped into that. I'm feeling a little bit emotional now, bear with, bit of releasing action going on live. But it's like you connect back to the truth of you, and you don't have these fears stopping you anymore, and you are here to fulfill the soul contract that you chose, and to become the powerful, this is what I always talk about, the powerful creators each and every one of you are here to be in your own right. But you can only access it when you release this stuff. So you can tell I'm really passionate about this process. I'm not saying this process is easy. Some of you in this group know at times it's been really hard, but I wouldn't change it for the world, because I've shifted so much in 6 months, and there's still more shifting to come. And even once you are finished, not you'll never finish, but even once you're through that kind of barrier of the awakening process, there's still contrast that comes in, but you no longer fear it. You no longer fear the fear. You're like, you can handle anything. You know that you can kind of lean inwards, and your higher self has all the answers. And again, the last 2 weeks for me, there's been such a shift in that, because Liv and Raf have been on holiday. I haven't lent on them. I've had to find the answers myself. And oh my God, I've literally, the shift in my strength and self-love just in that 2 weeks, And when you're doing this process, you literally feel shifts so fast. Like, it can feel a bit uncomfortable, and then you release it, and then you feel this shift and your vibration pops. That's how Liv and Raph explain it. Your vibrations pop. Like, so what I've been through the last couple of weeks, and Sarah's confirming, is my energy has expanded, and you expand so fast. So it's this awesome, mind-blowing process. So for anyone that wants to know more about it, at least start here. I know Liv and Raph have the next Be Leave Online happening next month as well. I may even ask them to come into this group and do a live Q&A, which I'm sure most of you would really, really want as well and be really excited about. So I will have a catch up with them about that. But it's this awesome process, and your higher self, you work with your higher self and you become so connected. So when I had the release around anger 2 weeks ago, I then was sat in my garden and looked up at the sky, and that portal was there, and I knew it was her, because Liv has said before that the portals I see above my cottage are portals to the 23rd dimension where Sarah's based, which is awesome. And then again on Friday just gone, when I released the fear around people judging me, I looked up in the sky and there was just this kind of strip of rainbow straight above my head. There had been no rain. Incidentally, there's never any rain when I see these. And it was just like a strip. It wasn't like a normal rainbow that goes like that. And it was straight above my head, and I knew it was Sarah. And I think that's when I really believed. And I've spoken about this in my Higher Self Connection Month. Really, in the last couple of weeks, I really now believe that Sarah and I are in this together. And no matter what contrast or growth or expansion comes into my experience, if I lean in and work with her, I expand through it, and it's the path of least resistance. It's still a bit uncomfortable, but I expand through it, and I know she's got me. And it's incredible, like that real shift in knowing that you're never alone and you're guided, and your higher self is literally with you. And when you can start to leap inwards, and again, I've had to do that last 2 weeks. I haven't been able to lean on Liv and Raph, and it's been incredible. It's like Sarah literally has all the answers. Stop fighting, leap inwards. And it's always what we talk about, moving with universal guidance. But when you're going through an awakening process, it's like you kind of get pushed inwards, you kind of get shoehorned inwards, and that's where all the awesomeness lays. And I've got this really cool thing happening at the minute. I know I messaged one of you yesterday afternoon, where, because I caught up with Liv and Raph yesterday, I'm so tired, and it's because my energy is shifting and expanding so much. Often it's when non-physical and your higher self are doing work on your pineal gland to amplify the gifts that are coming. So what I've got going on at the minute is I sort of reach about 1 o'clock and I'm floored energetically, and I have to actually go down a nap. I was literally told I have to listen to Sarah and nap, because I'm needing to do it at the minute, because she's, changing my energy, work on my pineal gland to get me more and more ready for these gifts that are going to start to come through. And it'll be the same with all of you if you want to go through this process. So I'm having to nap, I'm having to eat more food, because there's crazy stuff going on with my energy. Often throughout this process as well, my sleep's been really erratic because my energy is shifting so rapidly. It's literally this wondrous, awesome experience that it's just surreal but incredible. And I have to say, the last 6 months, 'cause I've been following this releasing process for 6 months now, have been a whirlwind. I mean, I feel like I don't even know whether they've really happened in some respects. I've been stretched in ways that I never thought I could be stretched. There've been massive highs, massive lows. I mean, it's just been literally life-changing. It literally is life-changing. And yeah, that's just what I was guided to come on and talk about today, a bit about that and how rapidly you can shift and expand. And I know a lot of you in this group are so there for me as well. A couple of you watching in particular have been my rocks going through this, because at times it's really hard. And the power of lots of us doing this at once, which is how it's always going to be now, this ripple effect is starting to build. And once I'm awakened, I might well facilitate awakenings as well. Once I'm awakened, it's probably what I'm going to end up doing is kind of be there to support people that are going through the awakening process, which is probably why mine has been particularly extreme. And it's often the case, if yours is like pretty hardcore, it's often that you're meant, you know, it may be that you're meant to help people go through their own awakening processes as well, and therefore you have to kind of experience all of the extremes of it. Every person's releasing and awakening process is different. Everybody does it at different speeds. You can't rush it. Your higher self leads it for you, so you can't force it or rush it. Your higher self literally does it for you and leads you through it. And it's just this wondrous thing, and I don't really know what else to say other than I'm in awe of it, really. It's insane. And you can all do this. This isn't just about me. All of you can do this if you want. Some people may feel ready to do this process. Some people may not yet. For me, I was shoehorned into it. Like I've just said, back in January, I was shoehorned into it because I just had such a like something happened that was so horrible, like the most traumatic thing from a vibrational sense to me. Another thing I just want to say, Sarah's guiding me to say, is when I started this process and I had lots of stuff coming up, I remember saying, but I haven't suffered. Like, I don't get that I've suffered. You know, I haven't grown up in a war zone or anything like that. But your emotions don't care about experiences. And it was really allowing myself to understand that actually, yeah, I really have suffered. Yes, I haven't grown up in a war zone, but there's been a lot of stuff that's still gone on in my home that is traumatic, as a lot of us will be able to relate to. And when you go through the releasing process, you understand that actually you chose that in your soul contract. Often as well, the thing that you are the most, you know, the thing that your higher self is, you kind of need to learn more of it in your lifetime. So for example, Sarah is really strong, but that's something I haven't felt that I've had, although it may not come across like that. I don't know how you all perceive me, but I often when I'm stressed or in contrast of an extreme variety, I tend to crumble and go into fear. And actually that doesn't mean I'm not strong. It's just in this lifetime, I am, you know, my non-physical team have chosen that I'm going to find more strength. I'm going to ramp up Sarah's strength. So I've had to find strength through things. And it's not that I'm not strong. It's just I've had to, you know, I've chosen to ramp up even more of it, because as I expand, Sarah expands. So it's the same for your higher selves. As you expand, your higher selves expand and the universe expands. Also, when you awaken, your higher self shifts into the next dimension. So this is where we link back to fifth dimension Earth. At the moment, we are third dimension. I've got to get this right. Yes, is that right? So there's a lot of people, the vast majority of people are, I believe this is right, obviously I'm still learning this, their higher selves are fourth dimension, but when they awaken, their higher selves ascend to fifth dimension. And this is why there's this massive shift at the minute that is going underway now, with Liv and Raf obviously being at the helm of it. Literally, we are shifting into fifth consciousness Earth. So many people are going to feel drawn to go through this releasing and awakening process. How awesome is that? Apparently, sometimes you can ascend 2 dimensions when you awaken, which I would love to ascend to 25th, but often you ascend when you transition. Your higher self ascends when you transition into non-physical, although again, that may change because we are always expanding, who knows. The other thing is, when you awaken, your body starts to regenerate because it's not full of that stored low vibration. So it's just fascinating. Like, Raf has got taller, because you know how people when they get old they kind of shrink a bit. It's all of that stored low vibration. So Raf's got taller, and when I went to see him in Spain, because I'd seen them in December and then I went out to the Believe retreat in Spain, at the end of March, I literally thought he had grown, but I didn't say anything. And then he actually said, I've actually grown 2 inches. So Olivia's been a bit like, I've been married to this man for 20 years and suddenly he's 2 inches taller. So, you know, you start to regenerate, and as you awaken, ailments that you have just go, you know. I know some people that it's actually in their soul contract that if they go down the awakening process, they're going to self-heal before they even awaken, because it's just part of their soul contract. It's just fascinating. So just something to think about. It isn't to overwhelm you. You will either feel drawn or not quite drawn, or you may want to explore it, or some of you may be like, yeah, this is what I'm ready for. This is what I'm wanting, what I'm needing. Everyone's going to be different. But if you want to start checking it out, this book is a great place to start. Plus there's loads of insight in there about higher selves, watchers, ancestral guides, dimensions, soul contracts. There's a whole section in there about that new insight as well. You can also follow Liv and Raf on Fifth Dimension Earth as well. They have a Facebook group, Fifth Dimension Earth. So yeah, it's just so exciting. But I just felt Sarah really wanted me to talk to you about it, so here I am. So I can see loads of comments and questions have come through, so let me scroll through and have a read of what you're all saying and what you're asking. Okay, so yes, I got that book last week. Yay. Hello, I've just got my copy of Believe. Yay. How can you measure how much stored vibration you have? So you work with your higher self. So Liv and Raf have told me, because Liv and Raf have been very closely aligned to my process of awakening and releasing. I know that Liv and Raf also offer 1-to-1 support as well if you're going through an awakening. So I guess if you were working 1-to-1 with them, they may tell you. Sometimes your higher self doesn't want you to know. The last time I asked Liv was a few weeks ago, and she was like, Sarah isn't saying. I feel like Sarah wants me to start asking her this rather than Liv. But in the book it says that you can ask your higher self. Some people clearly get an answer straight away, others don't. I haven't really clearly. I've got an instinct. It's around 86. I could be completely wrong, I don't know. But some people some people in Spain ask their higher selves and got an answer straight away. So you basically work to ask your higher self, and your higher self will start to tell you. And again, as per I know those of you that are in the higher self connection month, I was saying yesterday that higher self connection takes time to build. So some of you may get answers, some of you won't. I still don't hear Sarah. I'm going through a new phase as well, which is why I'm sort of particularly tired at the minute, where I'm going to start to hear or get guidance from Sarah in a different way to how I'm already doing it. So I guess that's why my pineal gland's shifting, and it's sort of getting ready for receiving her in a new way as well. So it's quite an interesting process. So start by asking your higher self. You may get a clear answer or you may not, but over time, the more you work with your higher self, the more clearly you'll be able to get answers to things like that. Can't wait to do the online Believe course in September. OMG, I'm excited about my gifts all over again. Yay! Yay, because you are so lovable. Oh, thank you, darling. OMG, goosebumps. I created the same truth last week, that the truth, I love myself no matter what. That is such a powerful truth to create, Laura. And I think you're sort of fairly new in your releasing process. To do that so early on is amazing. But what I just want to say about that is that your higher self will lead it. So Laura, your higher self, my angel, wanted you to get to that one early on. My higher self, it was divine timing that I got to that about 6 months in. So again, your higher self will lead it, but it's really empowering. It's such a shift for me. I can feel it in my truth vortex every time. It's like, you know, and let's face it, we're all going to have people in life that don't like us or agree with us, but that's not our thing to worry about. Our job is to show up as our true, authentic selves and to be, you know, the true, you know, limitless beings that we're here to be. And it's such a shift to have that shift. It's just so new to me. It feels awesome. Okay. Oh, wow. I feel I need to, Oh wow, I feel I need to create this truth of self-love, as I always experience and get messages that I need to focus on stepping into this truth. So often, darling, as well with that, So I found some truths you can create on demand. Other truths only really become truths when you release. So play with that energy. And again, if you're wanting to follow the releasing process, at least start here or check out Believe Online. But it is all talked about in here. If anyone wants to do, I think I saw one of you saying, how do they do the releasing process on their own? It's all given in this book. All of the guidance around it and the processes are in the background, how to do it. This book is the great place to start, because technically, as Liv and Raf always say, you only really need your higher self to be able to do the releasing process. Wow, sounds crazy but amazing. Oh my god, crazy would be one word is all I can say. So unreal to hear you speak about fear of judgment and being on a live. I've been meaning to go live on my page for months and can't get over the fear of judgment. I think it's something we all have, Nisha. I'm quite good at going live, but if someone doesn't like what I'm doing, or if someone, the old version of me, now I've shifted in the last week or so again, but if someone would have a go at me or not be very nice to me, it would really traumatise me. I'd hate it. I grew up being such a people pleaser because of the soul contract and journey that I had chosen. So be able to shift past that for me is massive. Again, I can just feel it's been such a shift in energy. It's like the file's just gone. It's awesome. I'm blimming pop today. So much shifting and so much contrast coming up to be cleared. Awesome. Contrast equals expansion. Lordy, I was carb loading on Sunday. Woohoo! How do we do this ourselves? So Harriet, start here. You can get this book online. You can also follow Liv and Raf on Fifth Dimension Earth. They have loads of free Facebook content like I do. They come on and do lots of lives and stuff. So definitely get over to Fifth Dimension Earth. Okay, I watch loads of lives, but every time I watch yours, the connection gets lost. That's so interesting, Laurie. I get a feeling I've got to watch yours when my mind is quieter. Trust. I don't know whether your higher self is getting involved there. Interesting. Okay, I think that's all the comments and the questions. So is there anything else I really want to say? I've made a whole list of things to talk about in this group, which is what I was also going to talk about on my podcast, but Sarah's guided me to kind of run this group. So what else have we got coming up that I will talk about over the coming weeks? The different laws. So there's law of desire, law of truth, law of balance. There's also a new law called law of synchronicity, which I'm yet to find out about because Liv and Raf haven't really started talking about yet. What happens when your vibration shifts. So it can be fatigue, it can be crazy sleep. Like everyone's so different in terms of how they react to it. What else? I've talked about being impatient a lot in the higher self connection month, about just trusting that your higher self is leading this and that you can't rush it. You will go at her pace or his pace, depending on whether you're male or female. We will talk more about soul contracts. We will talk more about pre-manifestations, okay? There are certain things in each of our soul contracts that are pre-manifested. And I know for me, that will be I innately know Sarah's saying, that will be things when I left my PR job, that was pre-manifested to happen on that day, she's saying. That was happening. It was pre-manifested for me to start mastering the art of manifesting, because look at all the incredible people around the globe that are now coming together as part of this fifth dimensional earth. And I remember Liv was one of the very first people that messaged me when I started that group going, oh my God, I literally love what you are doing. And at that point, she had no idea what was coming for her and Raf. And again, there's so many people in this group that are part of this fifth dimensional earth shift and have key roles to play within it. There's so many connections within this group. We will talk about collectives. We'll talk about soul groups. There's going to be a lot of soul groups that are going on inside this Facebook group. We will talk about soul companions as well. So like Belle is a soul companion that has been with me in previous lives. Many of you in this group I will have had connections with in previous lives as well, which is awesome when you start to understand that. And as I awaken, I imagine Sarah will start bringing more and more insight around who has soul connections with who, which is awesome as well. We will talk about so much more. I mean, this is just what's coming on now. Obviously, as I awaken, I'm going to start getting new gifts coming through. And I know one of them in the pipeline is going to be awesome for all of you. I can't wait to receive that gift because it's just going to be awesome. But obviously I need to carry on with my own releasing and awakening process in order for that gift to come through. But literally, when you go down this path, there is so much magic and wonder. So this is why this is called Beyond the Art of Manifesting, because like mastering the art of manifesting is literally just the warm-up, because once you've mastered it and then you hit that expansion ceiling, whoa, there's so much wonder and expansion and just stuff that is beyond our wildest dreams. And each and every one of you can access this as and when you want. This isn't a case of saying, yes, you need to go on and now crack on with your releasing and awakening. This is just telling you what my story is. And when it is divinely given to you, you will feel that draw and you will be ready to do it. But yeah, it's just really nice to be able to come into this group and talk about this with no filter. And also what's lovely, the clients that I'm working with at the minute all know that I'm going through it. And one of you yesterday, as I had to send something over to you, and I was literally like, I'm literally floored. Sarah wants me to stop and sleep. And they were like, yep, cool, send it over tomorrow. So it's amazing being able to have awesome clients and you guys in my life that all know what's, you know, going on. And when you guys get to move through this process, if you desire it, then I will be here being able to help you and support you as well, because I always end up coaching people things that I have been through in the past as well, because obviously I can't coach what I haven't experienced, because that wouldn't make me an authentic coach. So there's so much coming. I know a lot of you are messaging me already who are going through the awakening process and just sharing your journey, and just know that I'm here for you and that I love you all. Basically, I can see another comment coming through. I've really struggled reading Believe and have been through 10 days of so much contrast. I think it's shifting so much energy I need to get rid of, and I've really felt that today. So Samantha, I was exactly the same. I actually read this just before it came out. I kind of had the kind of first copy and was just kind of proofing it for Live and Wrath. And I have to say, that was not a great week for me in my awakening. It wasn't pretty. My energy was not in a great place, and this book definitely stirs the energy up. But that is the power of it. It's the power of the book, and it's the power of your higher self. So go with it, just allow it to come up. But this book does, I think, for a lot of people, stir vibration and energy up. It does stir it. So it is part of the process, because it's showing the power of the book, but the power of your higher self who's wanting to help you move past this. So I'm sending you a big squeeze, and I definitely had the same thing when I was reading that book. I was a bit like, bits of it were quite uncomfortable for me because it was bringing stuff up, but then also see that as an amazing opportunity. I am starting to understand now what Liv and Raph and Abraham has always said through Esther. When contrast comes up, if you can get to the point where you're like, actually awesome, this is going to enable me to release this and expand, it's a really cool place to be in. And now I can say I'm at that point where when contrast comes up, yes, it's uncomfortable, but I know that if I work with Sarah, I'm just going to expand because of it and grow because of it. And that the feeling that you get on the other side of it, the feeling on the other side of the growth and expansion, is awesome. You just become more and more and more powerful, confident, expectant. You have a real expectant mindset. Obviously you manifest on steroids, you know, and this isn't to say you can't manifest on steroids beforehand. You guys all know how much I manifested, but once you reach the expansion ceiling and you move through it, you literally become a power creator. And again, I'm still scratching the surface. I haven't awakened yet, and this is what I want to help all of you guys to achieve, is like becoming freaking powerful manifestors, creators, powerful commanders of universal energies, unlike anything that you know, okay? Because we are all able to do that. And yeah, I'm just so excited to see what unfolds, because we are here to do big work on planet Earth, all of us, if that's what we choose. If it's what we choose, you know, it's always free will. But oh my goodness, I can't even imagine where all of us will be in 2 years' time, 5 years, 10 years. I can't even imagine. We are literally going to be like an army of superhumans with these amazing powers and gifts that just bring so much light and love and expansion into the world. I mean, it's just so exciting. Does it matter if I haven't reached mastering the art of manifesting yet before reading this book? No, not at all. It's just my journey was manifesting on steroids, like power, and then expansion ceiling. And mastering the art of manifesting, like being a vibrational master, is always your life's work anyway. So it's just a whole new phase of expansion, but you don't have to hit that expansion ceiling like I did. You can start now. So you can start wherever you are. If you are drawn to it, then move with it, because obviously if you're drawn to it, that's your higher self guiding you. But great question. Really good point. It's just my experience was like expand, smash straight into the expansion ceiling. Oh no, where is it I go from here? Oh, okay, I have to awaken to go further. But that's just my experience, but it doesn't have to be as dramatic as that. I tend to be clouted and shoehorned into things. Tends to be the way that I learn stuff. So if you want to choose the more gentle way, then go with that. Or if you want to do it my way, go my way. But just move with what you are being guided to. Because again, that's guidance coming from your higher self. When releasing, I'm actually crying and being sick. It's not pleasant, but I feel like things do shift. So I haven't had an experience of being sick. I know other people who, I have had experiences where I kind of feel sick, like there's this energy trying to get out of my body that won't get out. That's my experience. Some of the more bigger releases have almost felt like, yeah, there's something trying to get out of my body that can't get out. So I think everyone's a bit different. They do say in the book that some people can experience physical pain as well. Again, touch wood, I haven't really had that. Everyone's process is different, but don't fear it is what I would say, because obviously I don't want to put people off. It's an amazing process, but you do have to be ready to do it. It does shift you and stretch you in ways that you won't have been shifted and stretched before. I'll just put it that way. But there's a lot of people all doing this at the same time as me now. So there's people from the First Believe online course, there's people from Believe in Spain, there's people in this group that haven't done the courses but are following the process from the book. There's a lot of us all doing this together. So lean on my energy, lean on the vibration of this group. Remember that there's so much awesomeness at the end of it. It's just incredible. Remember that carrot, that promise of the awesomeness that's going to come through on the other side, and know that we're all in it together. And you still have some really amazing times during the process. It's not all like really hard, but it is very, it is expansive. It is basically expanding you at the end of the day. Sorry if this has already been asked, but I keep getting disconnected. How do we release and let go of that low vibration so we can grow? It's all in this book, darling, okay? Read this book. It's all in here, because I am not in a place where I can teach this and facilitate this quite yet, because I'm still going through it. I'm feeling more and more that I'm getting closer to a place where I'll be able to teach it and help people through it. I'm not quite there yet, but it's all in this book, and obviously in the Believe online teachings as well. Yes, I woke up in the middle of the night at the start of reading Believe and I nearly vomited in my sleep. Gross, but signposted me straight to what I needed releasing. So this is the thing. And the other thing I'm going to say, guys, is that when you do release, and I'm sure, Jane, you'll be able to relate to this, a really strong feeling can come, but if you actually work with your higher self and you allow it to come up and out, it's just gone within like half an hour. It can be so fast. In fact, the biggest releases I've done, I've had to do a couple of ones that are really big, really deep rooted things, and they've literally just left my body within half an hour. And it's been like, wow, that had been in my body for nearly 40 years. In half an hour it's gone, and it's so satisfying when it leaves your body. Like, honestly, whenever I've done a release, and often my friends and I joke that sounds a bit weird, but whenever I'm released, you're like, oh my god, I feel so good. That's out my body, and now I'm going to keep working on my transitional vibration so it doesn't go back in, and it's awesome. It's so satisfying when it leaves your body. Yeah, definitely get the book, Hayley. Definitely. Have I missed any comments? No. Okay, awesome. So I hope that's helped. If anyone has any questions, let me know. I don't really know why I've come on to talk about this today. All I know is Sarah wants me to. So there will be people watching this that needed to hear certain things. Again, so this is when you're working with your higher self. Again, part of the releasing process is to free fall as much as possible, move with the guidance of your higher self and find balance, but don't question why. So I've come on to do this. I don't know why. Clearly some of you are meant to hear this. I wasn't planning from a logical point of view to talk about this till much further down the line, but Sarah really wants you to hear this today. So hopefully that helps some of you. And wherever you are in your journey, in manifesting or beyond manifesting, just know that I love you. Know that this group is a very special, safe place. Know that as a part of this group, you're out here on the leading edge of the leading edge, is what Sarah wants to say. Sarah gave me the words leading edge of leading edge like months ago, and she's really wanting you to hear that. In this group, we are right here at the leading edge of the leading edge. It's awesome. Like, there is just awesomeness to come that I don't even know what that awesomeness is going to be, but you, each and every one of you in this group, are a part of it. So know that you're a part of something special. Know how much Sarah loves you is what she's wanting to say. I feel massive love from her. Obviously I love you all so much as well, but Sarah's really wanting you to know this. You are really at the leading edge of the leading edge and part of something special here. You are so special, each and every one of you. She really, really wants you to hear that. Okay, you're so welcome, Claire. You're welcome, you're welcome. So interesting. Thanks for sharing. I'm going to buy the book now for my holiday. Yeah, it's a brilliant holiday read, definitely, because it is quite a chunky monkey, and it's the kind of book, exactly like Asking It Is Given, that you can just go back to. And often I get nudges from Sarah just to kind of go to it, and I'll just open it on a page. And there's something on that page that I need to hear or read, a bit like the Abraham Lucky Dips that I do on YouTube. Often if I just go to the book and pull it open, there's a message in there that Sarah wants me to see. And remember, nothing is by chance. Everything is coming from your higher self and non-physical team and responding to your vibration and helping to guide you. Nothing is by chance. Just wanted to let you know, I walked past a dog yesterday and she had her name Sarah printed in large letters on a cloth around her neck, and it made me laugh. Thanks, Sarah. Do you know what? Sarah is going to probably be with some of you guys at times as well. I know my guide, David, I need to tell you more about David on another session. He often is with people. I know that he's often with one person who is in the Sarah Collective. I know that he's often with her, so it may be, I know that one of you actually had a dream that Sarah, or that I was standing over you. So just see the synchronicities and thank them and be thankful for them, because there's so much magic I have received. Liv's higher self, I did that months ago before I even knew who Liv's higher self was. I literally was like, I think I've just received a message for someone from your higher self, and she checked in, she's like, yeah, you have, that's awesome. So again, this is the kind of magic that can start to unfold, and I hadn't even started the releasing process when that happened. So who knows what's going to happen, but all I know is it's very magical and there's so much love, and you are all very much closely a part of this. So let's keep spreading the magic, let's keep expanding, and who knows what I'll come on and talk about live next, because it will just depend on what Sarah wants to talk about. So I love you very much in the meantime. Have an amazing few days or week. I'm getting the guidance. Sarah's probably going to want me to come on once a week, so I hope you've enjoyed this. I love you very much, and I will speak to you all again very, very soon. I love you, I love you, I love you, as does Sarah. Mwah. Bye.